Ever crossed paths with the devil? You probably did. Today's true story. It's about a child, for crying out loud. That's a serial killer? Graham. He's only 14 years old, but he's so obsessed with poison. He's always reading chemistry books and books about poison. Why the hell would a child be reading that stuff? He ain't right in the head. Anyway, Graham was so tired about reading about it that he really wanted to get his hand on some poison. So one day he would go to his local chemist and lie and tell him he's 17 years old and he needs some chemicals for a school project. And he would tell him, "You got me?" The chemist would reply, "I got you, son." Antimonies, digitalis, arsenic, and thallium. That's what the chemist gave him. Oh my god. That's a no-no, if you guys know what I mean. Now that he has poison, my man wants to try it out. So he goes to school, to one of his classmates. He puts a little poison stuff on his cookies and brownies. The kid starts vomiting all over the place. He was so happy. He said, "I did a good job. I succeeded." Then at home, he would start poisoning his family's drinks and food. They would become sick, and accidentally, he would sometimes poison himself, and sometimes to avoid suspicion. Graham's sister, we'll call her Lucky, because she avoided getting poisoned by Graham because she used to eat at her boyfriend's house. But let's change her name to This Lucky, because one day Graham managed to get to her too, and he would poison her too. And she became very sick. She was rushed to the hospital, but she didn't die. His sister and the father had suspicion that Graham may have done something to her, but they said to themselves, it was probably just by accident. A few months later, Graham's stepmom gets really sick because he's been poisoning her now for a while, and she was rushed to the hospital. Later that night, she would go home. But I don't mean home to her house. I mean home to God. She passes away. The doctors don't know how she died because she died all of a sudden and mysterious. Doctors assumed she died from a prolapsed cervical disc she had from a previous bus accident. Meanwhile, Graham's father becomes really sick because Graham has also been poisoning him for a while now. He is rushed to the hospital, but he doesn't die. A lot of people are becoming real suspicious of Graham, especially his science teacher. And one day, his science teacher would go check Graham's desk, and he would find bottles of poison and books about poison. He would report this to the headmaster of the school. They would contact the family doctor, and they all agreed they should call the Popo, the police. Guys, this warehouse frightens me. Fear of what's coming. Guys, I need your help. Please, don't let me go at these stories alone. Please, like this video, and please, subscribe to this channel. God bless you. police
Grab
go
that
arrest
kid.
Graham, and he admits to poisoning his father, his sister, and his classmate. So at the age of 14, he would be admitted to Broadmore, a psychiatric hospital. He would be one of the youngest patients ever admitted to that hospital. Now, do you guys believe once he was in that hospital, he stopped poisoning people? Of course not. He would low-key poison the staff and the other inmates. Actually, one of the inmates would pass away from poisoning. A few years would pass. Now Graham is really starting to get tired from this hospital. So he starts lying to the doctors. I'm a good boy now. Poison. That's bad for your health. It's like drugs. Kids, say no to drugs. It's the same as poison. You never know when you're gonna die. Anyway, after 8 years of being in that hospital, the doctors would leave him and they would cut him loose. And Graham, he's out of that joint. Now Graham is 23 years old, out of that psychiatric hospital, and he misses it so much. You guys know what I mean. So he starts staying at a hostel, and he poisons people there. He gets a job at a photography supplying business, and he poisons his co-workers. And he would actually send his manager home, not to his house, to God, killing him. A co-worker would also get real sick, and he would be admitted to the hospital. 2 weeks later, he would also be sent home to God and dies. Graham got him. But this time, the doctors really think he took something toxic. And the people at the photography supplying business start getting suspicious, so they start an internal investigation, and the company would send the medical officer, and he starts investigating things. And he would tell them, nah guys, I don't think you got poisoned. And Graham was there, and Graham gets really pissed off. He tells them, what you mean they weren't poisoned? And he would start talking poison stuff that made the medical officer get real suspicious and report it to management. And management would report it to the popo, the police. Eventually, the police would search Graham's house, and they would find bottles of poisons and diaries detailing his crimes. They would arrest Graham, and he would go to trial, and he would be sentenced to life in prison. This happened in the 1960s. I'm Ben Passioni, and I want to personally thank each one of you guys for watching today's video. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys appreciate me. Please comment your opinion about this story below. And please, like, share, and subscribe. God bless you. I'm out of the streets.